Hello, welcome in. This is Chiefs Chase. My name is Mike Bassano, and thank you so much for joining me as the Kansas City Chiefs have fallen to 0-2.
Good news for them. Here's Mahomes looking around, pressure. He can run it if he wants. You know what he wants? Mahomes looking for the end zone. Touchdown.
It's a tough situation, man. It's tough. It's not as bad as it seems. I promise. Don't hurt me. I promise. It's not as bad as it seems. I know this stinks. The Chiefs are 0-2. They lost a game that I had a lot of confidence in. And that stinks. And frankly, I think they came out and could have beaten the Eagles pretty handily. If you take away some of the miscues, some of the missed throws downfield, the Travis Kelce interception, obviously, that was the game. A missed field goal by Harrison Butker. I mean, just little things that if you just tighten them up, the Chiefs win this game by multiple scores. So I'm not going to sit here and go doomsday on you. I won't. I'm sorry. If that's where you want to go with it, that's fine. There's plenty of other shows out there. We will talk about the problems, but we'll also talk about a lot of the positives that happened today for the Kansas City Chiefs in this game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know, when you come away with an L, those positives just don't ring as true, man. You don't get as fired up about the positives because at the end of the day, the Chiefs are still 0-2. But I will say this, for all the naysayers, and trust me, right now I'm already seeing the comments. I'm already getting hammered. I know there are plenty of naysayers against the Kansas City Chiefs right now. But for all of the naysayers, keep that energy. Keep that same energy because the Kansas City Chiefs are going to get better. They're going to get Xavier Worthy back. They're going to get Rashee Rice back. And even without those two guys, they still had a chance, if they played a little more crisp, to beat the defending world champions. So keep that in mind. The Chiefs have reinforcements. The cavalry is coming by at latest week 7. That's when Rashee Rice comes back. Hopefully by that time, Xavier Worthy will be back from his dislocated shoulder. Because right now, that's the worry. How do you get this offense back on track? Well, Tyquan Thornton has a lot to like. That's huge. Travis Kelce, aside from one devastating mistake, and I know Patrick Mahomes took some blame for that. You know, you got to get the ball in higher. But Travis Kelce's a Hall of Fame tight end. A Hall of Fame tight end doesn't make that mistake. So the fact that it happened is you got to look at it as a fluke, right? So Travis Kelce got to get better. That's 2 games in a row where Travis Kelce's made a catastrophic mistake. Today, it cost the Chiefs a win. Last week, it cost them Xavier Worthy. And I know that's frustrating. It's frustrating for me. It's frustrating for everybody involved. And I'm thinking about it all the time. But what Travis Kelce did as far as showing that he still has it, he was great today. By the way, that 4th down conversion, that wasn't a good pass. He had to dig that thing out of the dirt, and he got it in a pivotal moment of the game that was huge for the Kansas City Chiefs. That led to a Mahomes touchdown. So I'm not going to sit here and say Travis Kelce has a problem. Travis Kelce made one catastrophic mistake in a game where he played really well. So we got a lot to get to from this game, but I'll say, for the naysayers, the Chiefs are not done. This is a playoff football team, so keep that same energy later on in the year when the Chiefs get on track and they show everybody that they are an absolute juggernaut to be dealt with. Don't freak out over 2 weeks where the Chiefs don't have their 2 most explosive offensive players in Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, because Rice is coming back with fresh legs in week 7, and Xavier Worthy could be back as early as week 3. So there's a lot of football left to be played and a lot of reason for optimism, despite the fact that right now it hurts like hell. I'll start with the negative. Matt Nagy's got some explaining to do. To have your offense be so ill-prepared for a game that there is no excuse to be ill-prepared for. This isn't a trap game. This was the opposite of a trap game for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what you have to remember. This was the opposite of a trap game. You're 0-1. You're playing the defending Super Bowl champions who beat you in the Super Bowl handily. There can't be any player on the Chiefs' entire squad that could have possibly taken this game lightly. That's an impossibility. So to come out as sloppy, as disjointed, and as unfocused as they did, It's a little bit shocking, and that's going to speak to coaching. Andy Reid took full responsibility for the game. Well, that's because Andy Reid's always going to take full responsibility and protect his guys. I think everyone in that stadium at Arrowhead and everyone watching at home was going, what is Matt Nagy doing here? And why is Eric Bieniemy coaching running backs in Chicago when we know for a fact that he can get the best out of this offense? Oh, people don't like him? Yeah, people usually don't like people who push them to greatness. It's usually hard to be around people who push you to greatness. It's really easy to be around people who allow you to be sloppy. That's the truth. And soft coaches that allow you to be sloppy, ask the Miami Dolphins how that's working out. So Matt Nagy has to answer some questions. I think everybody in the stadium, everybody watching the game agrees that is probably a big question going forward. If you're looking for what on this team doesn't seem to be working, it's the offensive game plan. And it's taking too long for the offense to get going. And here's the byproduct of that. The byproduct of that is it's actually quite simple. Patrick Mahomes shouldn't have to be Superman all the time. That's the big takeaway is you have got to help Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying you need different players. I'm not saying that you need new guys. But I'm saying that you got to get Patrick Mahomes some semblance of help out there because it's hard to watch him have to put the team on his back all the time until Matt Nagy can finally figure out something to do to get some other guys involved. Because Patrick Mahomes is running for his life. He becomes the whole offense by himself. He's a generational talent and one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever walk God's green earth. And he's being wasted. So that has to get better. Patrick Mahomes can't be the entire offense. You have to get some things to help out Pat, man. It's the most important thing the Kansas City Chiefs could do. Get Pat some help. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, but get Pat some help. Tyquan Thornton, as that chemistry develops, that's going to be beautiful for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Tyquan Thornton, Patrick Mahomes connection, because we saw that finally hit in a big way toward the end of the game in a play that actually gave the Chiefs a chance to win. They just couldn't come up with the stop. Hey, the Eagles are good. It's going to happen. That defense did everything they could. They held the Philadelphia Eagles to 20 points. That's incredibly difficult. So, yeah, they couldn't get the stop. Yes, I wish they could have gotten the stop. The tush push is the lamest play in the world, and it's ruining football. And I would say that if the Chiefs were doing it. It's a stupid play. You can't officiate it. Did Drew Tranquill get the ball at the final tush push? Did he strip it from Jalen Hurts? I don't know. We can't tell because you have this stupid play that's not even football that you can't even watch. So the NFL really bummed things up not banning the tush push. Let's just say that. The NFL really screwed things up because had the NFL properly banned the tush push, which they should have done. They should have banned the tush push. That's an easy decision to make. Ban the tush push. They didn't do it. So now we have this unwatchable play that's ruining the game and making it very difficult to watch and really ruining any kind of nuance of the football game. You go, well, we don't think it's that big of a competitive advantage. I don't care. Your product sucks because of it. That's not watchable football. The NFL's job is not to maintain competition. The NFL's job is to make sure their product doesn't suck. And as long as the Philadelphia Eagles are doing the tush push and making things look like a mockery of football, then the product sucks. And that's on Roger Goodell, the rules committee, and everybody who voted against banning the tush push in the offseason. You can say what you want. I don't even care about the win-loss part of it or whether it's even a competitive advantage. I care about the fact that it looks like crap. You can't officiate it. I think Drew Tranquill got the ball from Jalen Hurts at the end of that game. And the fact is, it looks terrible, and it's bad for football. So ban the tush push. Now let's get into some other things. Kareem Hunt, physical running back, man, that really helped out Mahomes. I loved what I saw from Kareem Hunt today. I would love to see more of Kareem Hunt in the offense. Give him the ball more because he could be a power running back. And now he's starting to get turning for those 10-yard gains. And when we start to see that from Kareem Hunt, it is going to be absolutely spectacular for this team. You got to feed Kareem because he's the guy who's getting the job done consistently. Kareem Hunt is a massive bright side on the Chiefs offense right now on an offense that's lacking some brightness. So you got to feed Kareem Hunt the ball. You got to feed the monster. Get him the rock, baby. That's what he's there for. Get him the rock. What else do we got? Make sure you keep up that same energy against Travis Kelce, too, because he's shown he's not washed. Travis Kelce, if he was able to stick that, he'd have 2 touchdowns in 2 games. Unfortunately, he dropped it. It's a rare thing to see for a Hall of Fame tight end, so you can't really be like, that's who Travis Kelce is, especially when Kelce was making big plays all game. The big fourth down play to get the first, which he had to dig a ball that was thrown short. Travis Kelce had to dig that ball out, and he did it beautifully. And then the boom, stiff arm on Cooper DeJean. How was that? Cooper DeJean's one of the best open field tacklers in the NFL. Travis Kelce said, not today, sir, and put that stiff arm on him.
Gets him all the room that he needs, and then stiff arm. Patrick knows where Travis is on every play, and he's going to get it to him.
So despite a really catastrophic mistake that has to be seen as an outlier for Travis Kelce, he had a damn good game. And he was on the sidelines firing everybody up, saying, hey, I'm sick of this stuff. And you know what? I'm glad that he's doing that. Fact is, you got to have more urgency in your route. That's why the drop happened, by the way. Travis Kelce was sort of slow playing the route a little bit. Can't do it. Why? Mahomes doesn't have the time, brother. Mahomes doesn't have the time in the pocket for you to have these slow, methodical routes. You got to have urgency in your route because clearly the offensive line, which features Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, 2 of the highest paid players in the NFL, the highest paid players at their respective positions, and they can't protect Mahomes, and they also can't get a 4th and 1 with consistency. What's going on there? So you got to realize if you're Travis Kelce, you got to run with urgency in that route because Mahomes doesn't have time. He didn't get his head around fast enough because he thought, well, there's going to be an extra beat there. There's not, because your offensive line can't protect on a consistent basis. Travis Kelce still has to make the catch, and all that stuff still has to happen. But the reason the timing is off on that play is because Kelce's thinking Mahomes is going to have more time than he does, and he didn't. So Kelce didn't get his head around. The ball hit his hands before he was really ready to get there for it. And then it bounces up, intercepted, and, of course, the game is over. At that point, the game, a miracle situation could have brought the Chiefs back if they were able to get that big touchdown to Thornton, get the onside kick, or get a stop, all that stuff. But the game was shifted on the interception. I mean, that's an absolute fact. And that's okay. That's part of football. These things happen. But you got to figure them out. And for Travis Kelce, that's going to be adjusting and getting on the same page with Patrick Mahomes and realizing you don't have the time you think you do. Because this offensive line against great pass rushes, they aren't getting the job done. And that's on the interior too, by the way. This interior offensive line that's making all this money, earn it. That's a fact. You got to earn your paycheck. If you're the highest paid center in the NFL, you better not get blown off the ball on a 4th and 1, right? Because you're not going to give the money back, right? You're not going to give it back, so you better make the play. Look, everybody loves Creed Humphrey. Everybody loves Trey Smith. That's not what this is about. It's not about whether or not people like you. It's about doing your job. And the fact is, right now, the offensive line on the interior for the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not doing their job. So I know everybody likes those guys, and that's great. I like them too. But that's not what this is about. It's about doing your job. You gotta get that big money, you better earn it now. Telling you. Truck stick Mahomes. Let's do it. We'll get to some key plays that were really good. But truck stick Mahomes, you got to be excited about that. It's 2 ways, though, because I'm excited that Patrick Mahomes has it in him. I love that Patrick Mahomes has it in him to be that guy, to go lower the shoulder and run somebody over. I love the fact that we can get Patrick Mahomes to run the truck stick down and be fearing or have every defensive back in the league fear him. I love that. I love that Patrick Mahomes can truck stick defensive backs and that every DB in the NFL should fear number 15 lowering the boom on you and getting extra yards because he has that in his arsenal. I don't love that Patrick Mahomes has to make that the whole offense, right? The whole offense shouldn't be Patrick Mahomes making magic happen. That can't be the whole offense. And right now, it feels like that's the whole offense, especially early in games because there's just nothing else working. And that's on the shoulders of Matt Nagy, that I think a lot of people have questions about Matt right now. And of course, Andy Reid. And Andy Reid said, put this loss on me. Of course he's going to do that. But he's not the only coach on that staff. Okay? There's a coach on that staff that's an offensive coordinator. And Matt Nagy, since taking over that role, the Chiefs' offense hasn't looked as good. That's a fact. It's an absolute, unequivocal, undeniable fact is that since Matt Nagy took over as offensive coordinator, the offense has been significantly worse. I like Matt Nagy as a person. I'm starting to question how he's doing at his job. I think that's fair. Now let him get his weapons back. Right? We don't want to overreact. I'm not going to say, get rid of Matt Nagy. I'm not doing that because it's 2 games. It's 2 games. You have to have that. No matter what your gut says, no matter what your heart says, you have to have the rational part of your brain kind of step in for a second and say, yeah, but it's 2 games. And that's what's happening here. It's 2 games. But Matt Nagy's got to be better. Because as much as I love truck stick Mahomes, I don't like seeing him that much. I don't like seeing him that often. I'll put it that way. I don't like seeing him so often. I like seeing him every once in a while, That's the Mahomes I like to see. The guy who truck sticks every once in a while, but doesn't have to do it all the time. Now, Travis Kelce on that 4th down, the 4th down catch that leads to the Mahomes rushing touchdown, that was vintage Travis Kelce. He is still one of the top tight ends in the NFL, without question.
Mahomes, pressure throws. Great catch, Kelce. Somehow picked it up. He's got a first down. Oh, man, that thing was on the ground that he picked it up.
Look, the Chiefs are a playoff team. All right, win or lose in this game, they're a playoff team. I wrote that down while they were playing because I'm telling you, these guys, once they get on the same page, they're going to be moving. They're going to be a great football team, but they're not on the same page right now, not even remotely. So the fact the Chiefs are only 0-2 by 1-score losses against 2 really good teams, that should tell you that this is a playoff team. This is still a really good football team. They just happen to not be on the same page. They're kind of falling apart in that way. And that's a frustration because they shouldn't be. They're better than this, but we're watching them not play up to their potential. Once the Chiefs get healthier, they get Rashee Rice back, and they start getting on the same freaking page, then this is going to be a great football team. But right now, the Chiefs aren't a great football team because they're not on the same page, because they're constantly having miscues, penalties, problems across the board, and having any kind of cohesive offensive game plan. Your offensive game plan can't be Patrick Mahomes runs. That can't be the offensive game plan, especially when you have a generational talented quarterback. You have to let him sit back, throw the ball, give him some damn protection, and get some separation in the defensive backfield. That's what you're here to do. The whole offense for the first half for 2 games has been Patrick Mahomes making magic happen by putting on the Superman cape. And that falls directly at the feet of offensive coordinator Matt Nagy. I'll keep coming back to it. Nagy's got to do a better job at his job. Because that can't be your offensive game plan. Even though it kind of worked because Mahomes is amazing, that can't be it. I doubt they get the 1 seed. I did write down, I think the 1 seed might be a lot for this year for this team, but I still think that's a playoff football team. One of the top 7 teams in the AFC, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hurts still has pressure. Looking around. Decked! Oh, my! What a hit that was from Omar Norman Lott, the rookie.
Let's get to a real big bright spot. Omar Norman Lott. He changed the entire game. Had Travis Kelce caught that pass and gotten the touchdown instead of the tip going for an interception, we would be looking back at that sack, that body slam by Omar Norman Lott on Jalen Hurts as the turning point of the game, where the Eagles quit on the 3rd and 18 after that play because they were afraid that Jalen Hurts was going to get destroyed again. That play by Omar Norman Lott showed me that that rookie is going to be something special for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's another fantastic draft pick by Brett Veach on a roster that is stacked with fantastic draft picks. They just have to get on the same page. That's it. They just have to get on the same page. And defensively, they did everything they could. They held the world champions to 20 points. Despite turnovers from the offense as well. So they did a good job. And that play by Omar Norman Lott, you got to circle that and say that's a very good play. A big silver lining and a guy that as he gets more into the groove of this season is going to have some fantastic moments for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's all the notes I really have because after the interception, I was like, that's the game. I mean, I'm dead serious. That was the game. I think everybody felt that. I mean, there was a little bit of hope that maybe they can come back and the big play to Tyquan Thornton and a chance to stop them. And maybe Drew Tranquill does get the ball. I mean, there's a lot of things you could say, but I think I speak for most Chiefs fans when I say that, frankly, it was over. The second that Travis Kelce had the ball pop off his hands and it was intercepted, because I thought, here we go. Oh, my God. If they score here, they take the lead. All the momentum is on the Chiefs' side. They have the Eagles' offense reeling. The offense of the Eagles isn't able to move. This is going to be huge. The Chiefs are going to win. All they have to do is execute and finish this drive. 2nd and goal from the 6. That's the tough thing about that pick. It was 2nd and goal from the 6, guys. They could have ran it again to Kareem Hunt. He had a great run on the 1st and goal. They could have done a lot of things, but they go, no, we're going to go to the faithful guy, the big Yeti Travis Kelce, our Hall of Fame tight end. Why wouldn't we go there? Why wouldn't you want to go to your Hall of Fame tight end? That's what we expected, and it just didn't happen. It's unfortunate. It really is. It's unfortunate. Because I'm a big Travis Kelce fan. If you watch this show, you know that. I'm a big Travis Kelce guy. But my God, man, you gotta have to have mental focus. And that's what it is. It's not physical for Travis. If I thought Travis Kelce was physically washed, I would tell you that. He's not. His focus is off. 2 games. 2 catastrophic mistakes that were based solely on lack of focus. That is what's going to come down to for Travis Kelce is he needs to focus. You got all that money. You got all that fame. You're telling me there's not something you can do to get focused? Whether it be a supplement, a meditation, something. Because to have 2 unfocused mistakes here's the thing. I know Travis didn't get his head around for that pass and Patrick wants to put it higher. You got to know, Patrick doesn't have the time in the pocket for you to have a methodical route. You have to have urgency in your route and get out of your break fast, and Travis didn't. So that's what's frustrating because it's not a physical problem. It's not that he's too old. It's that he's losing focus. I'm not going to blame Taylor Swift because that's a cop-out. That's ridiculous. Because you have to still maintain focus no matter what's going on in your life. That's part of your job as a professional football player. That's part of your job at your job. I've gone through stuff in personal life. We all have, right? You go to your job. Can you just go, well, I guess that just won't be any good? No, you got to focus. And frankly, he's going through good stuff. Right? His stuff, all the stuff Travis Kelce seemingly going through seems positive. So, yeah, I'm just, I'm going to call it right there because that's it. I mean, there's not a lot else to say, guys. I think this is still a playoff football team. I think the Chiefs are still really good. And they're going to come back from this, and it's not as bad as it seems. I promise everything's going to be okay. I promise that. This is frustrating right now. This hurts. This hurts like hell. But the Chiefs will come back strong from this. The Chiefs will still be a dominant team in the AFC, and I still think have a chance to win the AFC West. 1 seed is unrealistic because with 2 losses already, the team who gets the 1 seed might have 2 losses total like the Chiefs did last year. I mean, the Chiefs have 1 legitimate loss all the regular season. Now they have 2. Right? They had the loss against the Broncos. It was their 2nd loss at the end of the season. None of the starters played. That's not a legitimate loss. The Chiefs have 1 legitimate loss the whole regular season of 2024. Now they have 2 legitimate losses through 2 games. So, yeah, don't set the bar for 1 seed. Set the bar. Try to win the division. Try to get to the playoffs, because once the Chiefs are in the playoffs, they have all the experience. Once the Chiefs are in the playoffs, they have every bit of experience you could possibly want for a playoff team. They have everything you could want. So yeah, that's important. For the Chiefs to be a great playoff team, they can do it. Just get to the tournament, and that's still going to be a mountain to climb starting out 0-2. But I still believe 1,000% that the Chiefs will climb that mountain. This has been Chiefs Chase. The Chiefs lose, what was it, 20-17, right? Yeah, 20-17. To the Philadelphia Eagles in a game that was absolutely devastating because, my God, we wanted it. We did. As fans, we wanted it. But that's okay. We will be fine. The Chiefs will be fine. And by God, this is going to be okay. I promise you. My name is Mike Bassano. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you on the Midweek Blitz as we get ready for Week 3, the bounce back, the get back week. We're going to try to get fired up for it because I believe this is going to get a lot better, and I want to keep that energy. Let's go.